What's up, fantasy fans? Today I'm going to give you a bunch of brief reviews of the different works by Michael R. Fletcher. These are going to be spoiler free. I kept saying, oh, I'm going to review this one. Oh, I'll review the trilogy when it's done. I'll review this. And then now I'm like 7 books deep into Michael R. Fletcher's bibliography and I haven't reviewed any of them. So here it goes. I want to start off with where I began, and that is the Manifest Delusion series. I saw this being recommended on Petrick's channel for like years, and I finally picked up book 1 is the only one I don't have here with me, and that's Beyond Redemption. And then I've read Mirror's Truth and Swarm and Steel as the standalone. This series is about 3 main characters in Stellan, Witch Tig, and Bedect, and they have it in their head that they are going to steal the mortal god of the Gaboran, Daemonin. And in this world, belief defines reality. So if you believe you're the best swordsman in the world and you truly believe that and you are delusional in that you believe that, then your sword skill will be better. If you believe that you're super sneaky, you will be super sneaky. So people that are like delusional, they define logic, so they have this power. So if you convince this whole land that this boy is a god, that when he dies he will ascend to godhood, then that's what will happen. So they then hatch up a plan to steal this child and sell him back to the Daemonin, and things go awry and crazy shenanigans. All 3 of our main characters, along with High Priest Koenig, are very well written, but I think Stellan and Bedect are truly phenomenal characters. Witch Tig is also great. Like, I think that trio is really what made this series for a lot of people, and I'm excited to get to book 3. But I mean, it's not just the 3 main characters. I think the world itself is very captivating, and this is showcased in Swarm and Steel, in which we follow Zerfal and Jatiko. It's been a while since I've read this one, but this one is like a love story between a rotting corpse and a cannibal, and it was really, really freaking good. I absolutely loved it. It's dark. It's definitely nastier than I'm thinking back on Beyond Redemption. These are nasty books. I'd probably say his Manifest Illusions, while not being his darkest thematically, I think that will go to Obsidian Path. I think it's definitely the most disgusting and the most vivid in its description of just depraved scenes. All right, this is what I think will have his biggest mass appeal as Ghost of Tomorrow, because while it's Grimdark, it's his biggest mass appeal might be Millennial Manifesto, but Ghost of Tomorrow, while dark, and yes, Grimdark, isn't quite as nihilistic as his other works. Now, all of his books are, he instills a lot of comedy in his books, so none of them ever get bogged down by being too dark, but I think this one perfectly walks the line of being like hopeful enough to where I believe broader audiences will enjoy it. And this is about if young children's brains are liquidated and turned into code, and then they are uploaded into different killing machines called battle chassis, and these children brains that are now computerized are sold to the different mafia so that they can put them in battle chassis and create these great warriors. Children are easier to mold, easier to sculpt, easier to learn how. We've been living in these human bodies our entire adult lives. It may be harder for us to acclimate to a battle chassis, so they use young children. Very good. Thought the characters were memorable, and it was just a really good standalone, one of the best sci-fi standalones I've ever read. And then this one is kind of a mixed bag for me, and that is Cities of Sacrifice. Well, I wouldn't say a mixed bag. I really love the first one, and the second one, it's just, you follow 2 characters, Nuru and Akachi, and Nuru is a street sorcerer, Akachi is the priest of Cloud Serpent, and when I say mixed bag, for Michael R. Fletcher, that still means like 4.5 stars. But the issue I had with this is at times Akachi is so frustrating that you don't even enjoy following him, which is crazy because the next book I'm about to talk about, not this one, Millennial Manifesto, the actual like bad guys in this book, the 2 goons that you follow, are so damn lovable. the two goons in this, I might give this a dedicated review because I do not think this book gets them. It might be my favorite Michael R. Fletcher book, and maybe recency bias. I don't know. I definitely think I'm in the minority on that, though. I loved Millennial Manifesto. It's where this group of kids, I say kids, they're in their 20s, are trying to stick it to the man and doing different little terrorist acts. Like they make the CEO drink water from a lake that he poisoned, a water supply that he poisoned. But the CEO that they make drink the water hires these goons to chase down the millennial terrorists. And the goons, Haran, Chuck, and Fauna, are so lovable. Like even the racist dumbass Chuck, he's written so well to where I feel like most people reading this will like Chuck to some degree. He's a piece of shit, but he loves his people. The amount of respect he has for Haran and Fauna, even though he goes, y'all are the good ones when he's being racist, he's still a piece of shit, but I feel like there's enough in him to where he could have learned to be good. Kind of like Sawyer from the TV show Lost. Like he's a piece of shit, but there's a good person in there. Or Peacemaker from the DC series. Like he's a piece of shit, but there's good in him. And the dialogue is so Tarantino coded. It's so damn good. And then one of my favorite short story collections of all time. The only parts in this that were hard to read were short stories from a version of Manifest Delusions that got scrapped because I'm like, okay, this is no longer canon, so I was less interested in it, but I still ended up enjoying those stories. The memory plug stories in here were phenomenal, and the Obsidian Path precursor stories were really, really freaking good. And then here's where it all comes together, because in Sanderson fashion, Michael R. Fletcher said, no. I'm not going to write a bunch of series. I'm going to write one interconnected multiverse. And I don't know if Millennial Manifesto's in it, and I don't know if Ghosts of Tomorrow is in it, but I suspect it is. Thematically, it definitely ties in. In the Obsidian Path, where we follow Crane, who's basically the Dark Lord Sauron, but he's convincing himself that he's not the villain, that there's areas of gray, that no one's all good or all evil. But the more you progress in this book, you're like, are you all evil, Crane? You may be all evil. And I've always thought like pure evil characters were just bad writing. And Michael R. Fletcher challenges that assumption and says, no, pure evil characters can be amazing writing, because how are they able to justify in their own heads this pure evil, this objective evil that we're seeing? How are they able to justify that in their own heads? And you see that with Crane in the Obsidian Path. He also starts tying in to Cities of Sacrifice. And now that I'm talking about it more, Cities of Sacrifice is also really genius. I don't think a single book he's written is below 4 stars. And I think this whole interconnected universe is sitting at a 4.5 to a 4.75 stars for me. So yeah, if you've read Michael R. Fletcher, let me know what you think. I think if you are a fan of Rob J. Hayes or Joe Abercrombie, you owe it to yourself to check out the works of Michael R. Fletcher. Peace.